Hi there, my name is Peter Davison, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. I have been watching Season 26 on Blu-ray. Season 26 is a freaking awesome season from 1989. It's Sylvester McCoy's final season, and the final season of Classic Who. Very, very sad because it went out on a real high. But it's sad it went out when it did. So here, just arrived last week from Amazon after being delayed for a month. I'm so happy to have it. If, like me, you cannot stand to have they put the current era logo on freaking everything, and the classic too, if you want the classic logo, I have made my own classic logos covers. So you can there you go. There you go. There's a classic logo on there. And on the spine, Pertwee one. So I'm going to put all of these in the video notes, so you can just download them whenever you want. Go to Amazon and get yourself a Blu-ray 6-disc set box, one of these things. Go print out the file like Kinko's or somewhere. Print it out somewhere so you can do like a good quality print, and then let the good times roll, baby. Fine. If you enjoy this content, if you enjoy independent voices here on YouTube, and you would like to support us, if you could consider hitting that subscribe button, thank you so much. That is so incredibly helpful, and I am genuinely grateful. I am so grateful I give stuff away. The stuff I'm giving away this week is Doctor Who, The Visitation. Freaking awesome story with I'm sorry, my brain's starting to leak out. Today is the 9th of March is when I'm filming this, and it is a fast day, and I'm filming this at 2:46. So tonight is like the beginning of this big Jewish holiday called Purim, where you drink insanely, so you can't tell the difference in good and evil anymore. There's an esoteric thing behind it. But anyway, the day beforehand you fast. I guess you get drunk. But no, it's the fast of Esther. Look, just Google it. You'll find out more about it. Anyway, so my brains are leaking out through my ears right now. But anyway, this story I'm giving away on DVD. A special edition starring Peter Davison, from 83, Janet Fielding, Visitation. I think one of Eric Seawood's finest stories. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel. Subscribing being the important part from my perspective anyway. And leave the hashtag Firefire. Look in the video notes and it will give you all the instructions you need to do to win it. The prize drawing will be on Sunday, Sunday March 15th, when I'm on the TARDIS Zone. I think we're talking about Rose this week. That's what we give away. And if you don't win, fret not. Or even if you do win, there is a free Doctor Who audio adventure also in the show notes for you to download, starring Nicholas Briggs as the Doctor, as the Doctor, and it was made in 85. It's by a fan group called Audio Visuals, which then later grew up to become Big Finish. Fine. So season 26. Let's break it down, because this one is a strong recommend. They also bring out season 14 soon, which I think they are very different seasons, but they are both real prime Doctor Who. Sylvester McCoy has totally come into his role right now. He floundered a bit in season 20. They hadn't worked out the direction they were really going yet, and then season 25 they really nailed it down. I think Sylvester McCoy's Doctor really started when he talked that Black Dalek to death, in Remembrance of the Daleks. And so this year there's much more comfortable in it. And the portrayal really works. So the first story in the set, there's over 2 discs, is Battlefield. Now, these Blu-ray sets are freaking incredible. They put everything they possibly can in it. Everything, including the kitchen sink. So you got all the extras from the original DVD release, and they're very good. The extras, you can just plow through some of them. There's a very good making of, called Storm Over Avalon. There's really good footage of the water tank. The Sophie Aldred nearly died making this story, which is a bit sad because it's not one of the best stories on disc. And if that's the one you're going to die for, actually, that probably would have scuppered the season had she been killed. I'm very glad that she wasn't. Anyway, but she was saved by Sylvester McCoy. So you have the footage. She was in this water tank and it started to break, and Sylvester McCoy said, "Get her out!" and saved her life. So you got all the original DVD extras, but you got a bunch of new stuff as well. First, they put a 5.1 a 5.1 track on it, like surround sound, and so you get the story in 3 different versions. You get the regular 4 episodes as they were transmitted, upgraded for Blu-ray, in HD as they were transmitted. For me, not the best version. It's a bit. Some of the editing choices are a bit cringy, especially in part one. There's this whole thing where they go boom, and they time it wrong, and it doesn't really work so well. They also have the extended release they put out on the VHS, and that's kind of fun because you get the VHS logo play up beforehand, and they really do it exactly like the VHS, which is I wanted they should have a thing where you can add on like static, that tracking used to have. But the best from the version I like the best is they do the movie length version with updated special effects. A lot of people hate the updated special effects. I actually really really like them, especially on these later stories because I just think it makes it work better. The sad thing about Battlefield is this: that it was Ben Aronovich's second story. He did the incredible Remembrance of the Daleks the year before, and this one does to the unit ears what he did to what he did with the Daleks in the first one, but it's not as successful. So one of the bonuses there's a seventh bonus disc is the writers' room where they get all the writers of the season together in a pub and they talk about it, and it's so clear how ashamed Ben Aronovich is of this story, which is a shame because it's mostly good. It's mostly good. I think if they they keep saying if they had this on I remember this from the when I listened to when I had the DVD from the commentary track. They basically if they just had Mike Tucker do the visual effects, everything would have been much better. And I do hear it. The visual effects are the practical effects are a bit clunky. The guns are a bit like boxes with tubes in them. So that doesn't really work so well. But there's a lot more good than there is bad. I really like the bringing back of the Brigadier in this one, and he's really good. It's a really good Brigadier story. I think it's a better Brigadier story than Mordred Undead. But Mordred Undead was originally written for Ian Chesterton, wasn't it? So they have another feature which goes across the entire the entire season. Every story has this. It's called Behind the Sofa. We have three sets of people watching the story. They cut it down, and you get to see their impressions. One group is Sylvester and Sophie Aldred, which really is good because they're like, I don't really remember it. And the other group is Annette Wills, Sarah Sutton, and Janet Fielding, who, like three middle-aged ladies watching Doctor Who. They're like, what's going on? I don't understand. But listen, it's always nice to see them. And the third group I find most interesting is Pete Mateague, who was a writer for season 11 of Doctor Who. I think he's the producer on a lot of this. I think he directs the Behind the Sofa thing. Who's very knowledgeable about Doctor Who. And he's with Joe Wilkinson, who wrote The Witchfinders, who knows nothing about Doctor Who, which is, I think, was kind of clear from watching season 11. Look, bless her, Joe Wilkinson. So it's an interesting kind of like voyage of discovery for her. It's really, it's nice. I like that. So it's a good feature. The second story is disc 3 is perhaps one of the greatest stories of the era. But again, all these stories are firing on all cylinders. It's Ghostlight. Now, Ghostlight has just an incredible supporting cast. Ian Hogg plays the villain. There's what's the name? Josette Sim in it, and there's just tons of that. They're basically everybody who turns up in it is like, oh look, there's a famous person from British TV, Frank Finlay. Everybody's in it. Great writing, just absolutely fantastic writing, fantastic direction as well. The way you don't see this often, especially in most of the John Nathan Turner era. The way they arrange the shot, then they do the composition. Excellent. Aaron Waring's the director, and it really shows he knows what he's doing. So this one you get again all the extras from the DVD release, the making of Light and Dark Places, and the audio commentaries. But you also got a nice feature on Ace called Little Girl Lost. But what they add in that's really interesting, apart from Behind the Sofa, is the work print. The work print, although unfortunately this is in standard definition, not high definition. So it's an early assembly. The episodes are, instead of being like 24 minutes, or more like 27, 28 minutes. So there's not much new in there. And it's just a real shame that it's in standard there. But it is really interesting to watch. Discs 4 and 5 are taken up with The Curse of Fenric, another contender for the best story of the era. It's a much more traditional story than Ghostlight. I love this story. one of the fantastic extras on this is they've made a brand new 60-minute documentary about the Curse of Fenric, looking back on it. And so you have, again, all the original features. You have Behind the Sofa, and you have it in lots of different formats. You have like a movie-length format, which, again, I think is the best version. It's got, again, updated special effects, which, again, people hate. I really like. Again, I really think this worked well. You have it in the original 4-episode version, and I think that's all. Is there another one? I'm not sure. Finally, the final story is survival, and you know what? So I watched this the other night. It stylistically just segs perfectly into Rose. It's set in contemporary England. Oh, I didn't talk about the setting, but let me go back to that. One of the great things about Ghostlight and Ghostlight Survival and Curse of Fenric, not so much for Battlefield, unfortunately. They worked out how to get the most out of the BBC. Like, the BBC weren't very good at doing spaceships and aliens and stuff, but they were really good at doing like old Victorian houses or World War II drama, or contemporary Earth. So that's really what dictated the choices for these stories. So Ghostlight is a fantastic ghost story with like sci-fi overtones. Curse of Fenric, again, fantastic story, like wartime story. Oh, there's some really good convention footage as well, which on they just put everything they can. And Survival was the final story for the Sylvester McCoy era. Again, it's the final story for classic Doctor Who. Final story for quite some time. And it just goes straight into Rose because it's set so contemporary, so like 1989. Helen Pacey. Does anybody know who they are still are anymore? They were like a very famous comedy duo of the time. They're in it. Yeah, John Nathan Turner. Fantastic at promoting the show, which they talk about a lot on the bonus disc. There's a really, really good documentary called Showman, The Life and Times of John Nathan Turner. Not quite as good as the book I read by John Molesworth, I think, called John Nathan Turner, The Life and Scandalous Times, which is a real clear insight into the man. But really good documentary, really good understanding of who he was, what made him tick, and what he did for the show, which was a lot, It's really sad because he essentially he was a very loyal person. But one of his good traits was he's very loyal, and he loved the loyalty he got from the fans when he first took over. And so he really had Doctor Who's back and really wanted to protect it and keep it together, which is why they kept him in Doctor Who for so long, because he couldn't do anything else. Because he was so successful that they wouldn't let him go anywhere else. And it really kind of crushed him. And eventually, I'm pretty sure during when they cancelled it in, was it 85? It was supposed to be a permanent cancellation, but I think he sent out a completely unauthorized press release saying it's arresting for 18 months. And that essentially brought Doctor Who back for Trial of the Time Lord and then the McCoy era. So that this era exists because of his force of will. Really good documentary. Also fantastic on this is an interview with Matthew Sweet and Sophie Aldred. It's like an hour and a half long. Really detailed, really fascinating. Really goes into who she is. And one of the most amazing things about it is it talks about. Not the most amazing, but I found fascinating. It talks about the first time she met fandom, which was at a Panopticon in, 87, 88? A Panopticon. And she talks about her experience. They did the whole thing where she won a prize. They faked her winning a prize. She says, I won, I got the winning ticket. She comes down to stage and then they introduce her as the new companion. So, Sophie Aldred. So here's the interesting thing. I was in the audience. I was actually in the audience at that Panopticon, and I remember it happening. So it's really fascinating hearing that story from the completely opposite end of how you first perceived it. What else is on the disc? There's also Peter, which is like a history of Doctor Who, and Blue Peter, which is a children's TV show, like a magazine TV show here in the UK, and that's for the classic era. And another really good documentary called Endgame, which talks about the cancellation of Doctor Who and how it eventually ended. Which, I'll tell you, John Nathan Turner was so screwed over. And again, it wasn't just screwed over by the BBC, but it was screwed over by the fans, who then had this real targeted hate campaign towards him. If only we knew. If only we knew the truth of everything, how badly he wanted to leave and how badly he was being screwed over by the BBC. It is a fantastic set. 4 great stories. I think there are 4 great stories. Even Battlefield, which is the weakest of the 4 4 great stories that every Doctor Who fan really should own and be able to go in and out like seamlessly. The extras are breathtaking. They're absolutely breathtaking. They throw everything in these collections. I really think we should support them. I would like you to support them. So it comes out in America on March 24th. I'm not sure if it's still available in England because my one got lost in the mail, and so I went to cancel it and reorder it. I couldn't reorder it. I paid like £30 for it initially, and then I went to reorder it. It's like 60. They're completely sold out. So this is a really good set to grab. When the American one comes out, I would say get that straight away because they're going to go like hotcakes. They're really, really good. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I, because I really loved it. My name is Sheila Becken, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and have yourself a fantastic day.